Let's move over to Florida State, Notre Dame, a game that we saw on Thursday night in South Bend, Indiana. Notre Dame was coming off with the loss last Sunday at NC State, and then they go and lose 2 in a row, dropping one to the Noles. And we'll talk about the Noles in a second, but focusing on the Irish. What have you seen over the last 2 games, potentially different for this Irish squad than we've seen in the previous couple weeks?
It's exactly what Neil Ivey was saying. They need to get back to their defensive intensity, their defensive identity. When you have the top 2 scorers facing off, you cannot rely on the offensive pressure. You cannot rely on your offense alone. And Neil said, hey, I didn't prep them correctly. I didn't coach them correctly in this game. But Sonia Citron said something that really stuck with me. She said, you can only talk so much. It's a will to win. So whatever's going on with the motivation to be great, sustained over time, they need to really come together and say, hey, we have to finish this out. The conference title was ours to lose, and they have now put themselves in jeopardy with sharing with NC State.
Yeah.
And so knowing that these mental breaks have occurred, they have to regroup and go into Louisville, because Louisville's not going to be the team to push you over. Like, you can't push Louisville over.
No. Yeah, you can't lay down against Louisville. And we've seen out of Hannah Hidalgo, not her best performances over not even just the last 2 games, but really the last handful. Alexa, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, she's shooting, I think, 30% over the last 5 games. That's the worst shooting percentage in any 5-game stretch of her career. So you hate to say it, but like Notre Dame does kind of go how she goes. There's a reason why they were able to accumulate some of the best wins across the nation this season against, Texas, against Notre Dame, against UConn. It was because Hannah Hidalgo showed out. So no, maybe they don't need 30 points from her every night. But I think also, too, I mean, look at that, the body language. Just keep an eye on that, too. I think they want to see her, even if she's not shooting great, how can you make an impact in other ways? One stat that I saw that was really interesting, she had 1 assist in that Florida State game. Tanaya Latson, to kind of compare, she didn't have a great kind of efficiency night either, but she had 9 assists. Right? So again, setting up your teammates, even if you're not shooting well, but yes, she needs to, I'm sure, see the ball go in as well.
And her coach knows what's going on the bench, right? If you're used to producing at a high level offensively and you just aren't in the swing of things, you're going to be disappointed in yourself. It's just a maturity thing over time. How do you compartmentalize that to finish? Neil was saying how high level scorers, they shoot their way back into the game. So that run was supposed to be countered with a Hannah Hidalgo performance, but she just wasn't able to have those shots fall. So it's like you can't get a bucket. How do we get you back in? And you're looking at somebody who's typically scoring for her team and saying, dang, I'm in a position again that we're down. We just had a 15-point lead, and we just let that go. So it's frustrating.
All right, so a chance for Notre Dame, though, to regroup with Louisville in town and College Game Day there as well. Just a quick note on Florida State, who is ranked as well, and they've knocked off 2 ranked opponents in a row on the road for the first time in program history. And the knock on Florida State over the last couple of years has been they have these big wins, but then they have these head-scratching losses, and then they get to the NCAA tournament and they bail in the first round. What do you make of Florida State at this point right now, Ari?
They hung their head on, we played both ends of the floor. They wanted intensity, both ends of the floor. They did that. And so when you have Tanaya Latson getting the ball wherever she wants and scoring, and then 9 assists too, just facilitating the game and being able to produce, that's something very special. But she had help. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing about Florida State. It doesn't just have to be reliant on Tanaya Latson. She's the nation's leading scorer for a reason. But in order for them to make it deeper than they have in years past, it cannot just be on Latson.
Yeah, Timpson had a great game. He had, 20 points, 17 rebounds, something like that.
I want to read this. She recorded 46 double-doubles in FSU history, but she became FSU's all-time leading rebounder that game. So shout out to you. KK.
So we'll see what Florida State does moving forward. A chance to knock off yet another ranked opponent today against Duke. So it could be 3 in a row for the Noles.